All right, it's Phoenixmon X leading the Bird Gang against Imperialdramon in that great evolve and play by effect Floodgate BT16 Imperialdramon. We'll see if that gets to make an appearance here. But first off, Imperial's going to get the BT12 duo and going on, getting the Davis and that BT16 Dragon mode to hand off the Biyomon search after the Wormmon in the back. Definitely the better search for the deck because, they just like to print more good Davis cards than Ken cards, clearly. Alright, but we do have the Searcher Biyomon in the back, and then an offense training, which hopefully will get used sooner rather than later before that Dragon mode comes down, and sending an Ukamon to the bottom, and picking up the BT15 Birdramon. And then Twin Wings of Love, just to choke at 1 while playing out the Memory Setter, so no return value there, but it does get to choke at 1 with that, so it's pretty good. And we'll see, alright, Biyomon's just going to come swinging in. And does hit into the Garudamon X antibody. And just the Davis to keep searching. And looks like we see the new SR Imperialdramon as well as another Dragon mode. So we might see the Wormmon get picked up there as well as, of course, that Imperialdramon. Because this deck can spit out lots of rookies, especially when it's the Davis and Kin Tamer comes down and they just keep coming down for free every turn, especially when it's a Searcher rookie. Just really helps smooth out the deck's consistency and just as well as, getting the bodies on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and crack the offense training here before that scary Dragon mode comes out to penalize it, going into the Birdramon. And still at 3 memory. And I think the only piece to recur from the trash with the Birdramon's on-evolve effect is going to be that Garudamon X antibody that was just hit out of security. So that was a very fortuitous hit right there. And if we can have a... See, I guess there's not really any good pieces to return from trash right now. So the Garudamon X antibody's effect is not going to be super amazing. There's also nothing to kill off with its bomb off. It typically is an 8k. I think it's equal to its DP, but usually this deck does not run DP boosting, so it's probably going to be 8k. So I'm going to go ahead and get aggressive with it, because this deck does want to reduce the opponent's security as much as possible, and just easily beats over a Wormmon. So we'll see what the follow-up play is going to be. It's going to be an Akiho to get a nice little search here. And we do get to get a... So we do see a couple of targets here. Going to take the Phoenixmon from BT15. Definitely the one that you want to evolve through if you're going to go into Phoenix X, so that you can actually get that on Digivolve effect to free drop a Tamer, or I think it's a 5k or less member of... Actually, I don't even think it requires it to be a member of the Bird Gang. It can be any red Digimon 5k or less, but usually this deck it's going to be all birds. Alright, so Wormmon is going to come out here and go into XVmon for 2. And I'm going to go ahead, and that one does not have jamming, so we're just going to drop the Stingmon, and unfortunately this is not quite going to keep turn going into the Imperialdramon here, but we'll get to regain 2 memory from the effects of the XVmon and the Stingmon going into Imperialdramon. No source strip here because there's no Davis Kenton, and it's already suspended, so it would still have more sources, so it would still suspend it, but more importantly, it does keep the Garudamon X antibody locked down. And then the Imperialdramon will be able to do some stuff on the next turn. We do know the Dragon mode is in hand, so it's going to be able to come down for 3. And see where we go from there. So we got the BT15 Biyomon in the back, and thinking about going ahead and digivolving into that BT15 Phoenixmon. It does have a very potent on-play / on-deletion, but it at least does have the effect on evolve to free drop a Tamer or another body. And we do have the Akiho in play as well, so anything that gets played by effect can gain Rush. So see what's going to get played out here maybe. Double checking what exactly can be played. And it looks like there's a Searcher Biyomon there. That might be a good idea. Could get a bigger body out as well. There's also could also play a Tamer, so he could drop a second Sora, which could be used to play something by effect later, but playing something by effect later is a little bit sketchy when we do know that the Imperialdramon Dragon mode is coming very soon, probably on the next turn. So here comes the Biyomon down for a search for a bird. Got a Garudamon and a Birdramon, and we're going to pick up the BT13 Garudamon, which can free drop I believe it's a 3-cost or less Tamer, so no Sora, but it can drop Akiho. And then this Biyomon given Rush by Akiho is going to go ahead and swing in, because as aforementioned, we do need to reduce the opponent's security as much as possible. Going to get to regain a memory there from the Birdramon Inherit. And now with 3 security left, I believe that's a 7k that can be played by Sora whenever we see a Digimon get returned from trash to hand. So we can go ahead and just start free playing out the Garudamons now, which would be really nice because I believe most of them do have on plays. So place another training here, and we're going to pick up that Akiho and bottom deck the Birdramon. And going to go to 3 with Davis, and that training might be a little bit scary to use, as I do expect the Dragon Mode to come down on this turn. And of course that is higher DP than the Phoenixmon. Could beat over it, however, the Phoenixmon does have a really good on deletion, so not sure if we would want to do that or just try to keep it locked down, but we'll see what the Imperialdramon player wants to do. It is the Digimon from BT16 egg, so all these are going to be having the plus 1k all turns. And a Wormmon does come down in the back again. And Imperialdramon is going to come in since there's nothing to suspend. It's just going to unsuspend and hits into a Sora. Alright. Going to go ahead and swing again. Hits into an Akiho, so 2 Tamers off the top. Really good for this deck. And the Akiho search is going to pick up, pick up the BT11 Phoenixmon. That's going to be the choice there. Looks like we got plenty of smaller birds already. And of course the bird deck's able to recur pieces pretty well. If this Phoenixmon does go down, there's the Yokomon in source. And yep, there is the Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. And I believe this can suspend, if I recall correctly, yeah, we can suspend a Tamer and I think lock it down as well. And if it does that, then it does get to unsuspend. So I think that may actually be a split effect, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so we'll see if what the Imperialdramon wants to do here. Just having this Imperialdramon out in general is very dangerous for the bird deck, considering it likes to play by effect a lot. But it could be a little. Let's see. Well, Dragon Mode is going to be 13k right now, so it might be all right. Right, so it does just hit into the Garudamon X antibody, and wow, yeah, the security is really low for Phoenixmon. It's going to have to make a big comeback here. It does have to evolve the Wormmon into XPmon for 3 in the back, but there's a memory setter, so that ends up not mattering. Alright, so can't unsuspend Phoenixmon, looks like. And we'll see what the birds can do from here. Dragon Mode is pretty crazy. Yeah, just locks the stuff down, and yeah. Pretty good card, pretty good card. So, the Biyomon does come out, and it's going to get to do its search. Crashing a bird gang to get any red card off the top, and there is the Phoenixmon X antibody. Unfortunately, that Phoenixmon is locked down, so being deprived of its on-deletion effects, it would probably just rather die. But yeah, there is the Phoenixmon X. We do know there's another Phoenixmon already in hand, but it's going to be difficult to actually climb up here with just this Biyomon, because now with that Dragon Mode on the board, any play by effect or evolve by effect, even with the trainings, right, that's in danger. So he's going to risk it. He's going to go ahead and use the offense training here to evolve into the Birdramon for 0, and we'll see if there is any counterplay to this with a fighter mode. Obviously, if the Imperialdramon player doesn't have fighter mode, then the threat is an empty one. So we will go ahead and resolve the on-evolve effect of the Birdramon first, and then we'll see if a fighter mode comes down from Imperial. This is definitely the time. But first, actually, we will get since that was returned, the newest trigger is going to be Sora here. So, Dragon Mode waiting patiently to see if he's going to get to spring the trap or not. So, Garudamon will come down here for an on-play. See if there's another Akiho to play out, and there is. So, all this while the... see, it looks like, we got one more. So, Phoenix X or a Saberdramon. Okay, Saberdramon is going to be coming out, and eventually we will get to the point of giving this rush. All right, I think we may be about wound down on the stack now to where we will see if the fighter mode is going to get used. We actually have a second Sora, which also triggered to play out the Saberdramon. Going to go ahead and give that rush as well. And surely now we're done on the all of the bird effects here, and we'll see if there is a fighter mode. And if there is, he looks like he's not eager to play it. So it looks like the fighter mode, we didn't see one get searched to hand, so, and maybe perhaps it was not drawn as well. Because as powerful as that Dragon Mode's play by effect or evolve by effect trap is, if you don't have the fighter mode, it doesn't actually do anything. Alright, and yeah, looks like there was in fact no fighter mode, so a bit unfortunate. So we will swing Saberdramon Technically not raid, right, since it wasn't unsuspended, but it will swing in there, and since it was deleted by an effect of retaliation, you will get to partition, so XP and Steam come out. But there's going to be the Garudamon Ace coming out to free drop another Sora. And let's see where we go from here. All right, we got the... Okay, we have Garuda X coming on top of the Garuda that was played, and I believe it did get Rush from the Akiho, so it's going to retrieve that Garuda X, and then it will be able to bomb off something. We're going to bomb off the Stingmon. All right. And I think there may actually be another Garudamon X in hand, which could take out the X Vmon. So it looks like this is going to go ahead and swing in. See, there was something returned to hand, so the Sora can be used again to free drop a Garuda Ace. And of course, with that Garuda Aces on play, the Sora can come right back down. This is why putting the opponent to 3 security was very important, to be able to do this Sora looping here. And then the Garuda X also can give the Garuda Ace that was just played Rush with its own effect. So you don't even need Akiho sometimes to give Rush 2 bodies with this deck. And wow, really sucks for the Imperial player that they did not have fighter mode there to really answer that board. And there's going to be another Garuda X comes down. That's going to be able to bring something else back. We still have like another Rush outlet here from Akiho. That's going to take out the X Vmon. Also going to bounce the Sora back to hand. And are we out of Garuda Aces to play now? Looks like we are. We're just going to get the Biyomon coming down. We'll get its on-play search. The Garuda X will give the Biyomon a rush. So once again, we still have the Akiho waiting for even one more rush body, and we're going to start swinging in now. It does hit into the Davis and Ken, so it does survive. Gets to get a couple of effects when security is removed from the opponent's security stack. And definitely those 3 Garudamons can all swing. So, all right, here comes the BT11. Phoenixmon going to go ahead and swing in. All right, and then he'll be able to trash the top card of the security with the Garuda X if he so chooses. I got a couple of on deletions that he can use there. I believe that's how that card works, if I recall correctly, to activate one of the Digimon's on deletion effects. But I'm just going to go ahead and play out the Birdramon with that swing, and then we got another swing for game. So a couple of ways to go there. And yeah, wow, not having that fighter mode definitely sucked, but Phoenixmon takes the game. Thanks for watching.